Call it for me. Do you really care? Show me what to me. Check me in the cow. To be sincere, I will do almost everything for you. Everything for you. Yeah, cherish you. I stand for you. I would lie to you, but I feel like for you. In the night, get up down for you. Wait up to be your mama. Be your one so we got your you. Baby, all I see I find it in you. All I see I find it in you. Without the shoes, till I shoot for you. Ain't got you, baby, just a bullet hole. I heard about you, just like you get my if you buy infinity, would you buy for me? When I make activity, would you come for me? Step into the light and let me see your face. See your face. Yeah, cherish you. I stand for you. I'm having a party. I can see somebody has joined. Hi, welcome to the show. I hope you're sharing. Hi, Charles. I'm having a party. Hey, baby. Tell your friends to join us. Let's have a conversation and have fun tonight. And join me wherever you are. Hey, oh, that's it. I'm the best chair dancer there is. I'm sharing, so I hope you're sharing too. Please share. Hi, Eric. Welcome to the show. Don't go. Please put it on your page, Eric. Share it on your profile so a few people can join us. And I hope you're joining us because today is an interactive show. Intentionally, we decided not to have any guests. We're going to be alternating that. Have a guest, have a conversation, have a guest, have a conversation so that it can be really, truly interactive. And so, Eric, don't go. Share it to at least 5 people to come join us and let's talk. You know how we do it on the Goretti Show every Wednesday at 8 p.m. We have fun. So, but we just don't have fun. We have what I'm going to call it, educative fun. We agree to disagree. So Charles, I hope you're sharing. Eric, I hope you're sharing. I'm just gonna. So please share. I can't see the hearts. I'm on Facebook. If you're watching via Facebook, show your girl some love. But thank you. I wish to be a guest. Yes, Eric, come. Let's talk, please. Like I will do. I'm going to share the StreamYard link. It's in the comments section. So anybody that wants to be a part of our show, be my guest, be our guest of tonight. But tonight we want to make it really interactive. I think we all love that format. So it's on there. We'll start in about a minute. I'm just going to give it some time. I'm sharing as well everywhere. So let's share, and let's join. Join us, Valentine. Thank you for joining. Thank you, guys. So in the meantime, I'm going to leave you with, for those of us who are in the UK and haven't made up our minds yet, what's stopping you? Make sure you join Rencam Credit Union. So let's go. Everybody wants to find the perfect match for their financial needs. Secured savings, stress-free access to affordable loans, instant mobile money transfers to MTN and Orange Cameroon, and even a share in the profits as a member owner. For over 7 years, Rencam Credit Union has been the perfect match for Cameroonians living in the UK and other nationals with interest in the Cameroonian heritage. Visit rencam.co.uk. Join Rencam Credit Union today.
Achieving success together.
Hello, good evening. Welcome to another episode of the Goretti Show with me, your host, Goretti. Thank you so much for joining. And I've been asking everybody to share. Eric, if you're still there, the links, the StreamYard link is in the comment section. But tonight, a lot has been happening. So much has been happening around the world. But obviously, you know, we always choose information that we think that could be productive, could create a conversation, which could be worth at the end of the day learning something from. Because ultimately, what we do here is we learn through our shared experiences, and so this is what we're going to do. So tonight, and also if you have anything in the comments tonight that you want us to talk about, please don't be a guest. Don't be a stranger. Just put it in the comments. Let me know. If you've got my mobile phone number, send me a WhatsApp. I've got the Facebook pages open, so you can send me a message there and we'll talk about it, or you just leave it in the comments. But so I'm just going to start. Welcome to the show. Those of us who are here now. Have you guys, let me know in the comments if you have watched this show on YouTube called Blue Therapy. Have you heard of Blue Therapy? Because it's been causing, it's a UK-based, they claim it's a reality show. So it's like a therapy section where, these two couples are having conversations about their issues in their relationships. It's two African couples, Nigerian, Ghanaians. And and there's just so much you can take for that. Let me know. Eric, have you watched it? Charles, have you watched it? You who's watching and I can't see you. If you're here, let me know in the comments. Just say hi. Say hi in the comments so we can welcome you officially. Please don't be a stranger. If you're here, say hi in the comments so we can welcome you. It's always lovely to have people watch us. But let me know. Text. Let me know. Has anybody seen Blue Therapy? Have you watched Blue Therapy? It's on YouTube. Hi, Mami. Welcome. Have you watched Blue? Hi, Leslie. Thank you for joining. So have you watched Blue Therapy? You haven't? Have you? I'm going to give you one more second. And in the meantime, Leslie, Mami, I hope you guys are sharing and inviting more people to come join in the fun. But if you haven't, I'm going to play you some clips from Blue Therapy. And hi, Ade. Well, hiya. Thank you so much for joining. Welcome to the show. So if you haven't watched Blue Therapy, okay, I'm just going to play you some clips from Blue Therapy, and I really want us to talk about that because it's just generated a lot of conversation. So let's start.
Do you ever eat the same meal together?
Let me tell you one of my biggest problems. He's kind of denounced our cultural foods.
Oh.
Yes. So he has issues with the fact it's oily. Even though he eats ice cream and he has takeout, he finds it too heavy. You don't have to eat it during the week, but on Sundays, for example, we can have a dinner. We could have some African dishes and that's one of the reasons he actually fell in love with me, my cooking. And all of a sudden now it's too fresh or it's too heavy and it's too fatty. There's too many calories in these dishes for him.
Have you always watched the calories and your weight, presumably, if you're watching the calories, or is this a new scenario?
Okay, so that's clip one. So stay on with the conversation. That's clip one.
Eating these kinds of food makes him look bad, or you feel some type of way, maybe eating with your hands. Is that what it is?
I disagree.
So I've actually realised that Paul's got an issue with African dishes. We're Nigerian. We grew up on these foods, so I'm a bit confused. I can't eat African food every single day, but I wish to incorporate it into our lives and our dishes. You know, I am African. I'm proud to be African. I'm proud to be Nigerian, and I'm proud of the dishes I cook.
When we first started dating, right, we used to, I remember I took her to this restaurant in Peckham. It's called Lolak, or Lolake. There's that. When we go there, we're getting down. It's kind of like a real bush. No, let me not say bush, but kind of, you get down, you use your hands and all that stuff. But when you kind of think about it, if I'm wearing a 2K suit Do I want to be in Peckham Market? No. I'd probably want to be Piccadilly Circus.
So in other words, you're saying that I'm bush.
I'm not saying.
So I want you, let me know what you've taken from that. I hope you're watching. Keep watching and I'll play the third clip.
You're familiar with palm oil, right?
With
Palm oil?
palm oil, yes.
Yeah. Do you eat it at all?
I don't know.
Why?
I've never used it in cooking, so
Okay. It's quite bad for you, actually. It's quite bad for your insides. So, but at the same time, if you know, to be fair, if you did use it in cooking in terms of, well, proportionately, you know, if you weigh it, stuff like that, some people don't do that. But if you did, then maybe you'd be able to calculate what you're eating. So in theory, what I'm trying to say is I don't have an issue with African dishes, but if the calories are not calculated, you're just filling your gut and you don't even know what's going on with your body.
You do have an issue with African dishes because if you're talking about calories, like I said before, he eats ice cream, he eats donuts,
It's calculated.
he eats donuts,
It's
and he also
calculated.
eats takeout, so pizza
Calculated.
and etc.
It's calculated.
I don't need to calculate. Did your mum calculate when she was making you African dishes? These foods are not calculated. I calculate with my eyes, so I know how much palm oil I put in.
Hello, for real. Hello, Eme Awa. Thank you guys for joining. So my take on this, and if you haven't watched this show, please, I highly recommend it. They're already on part 4. So this is the 4th week. It's called Blue Therapy on YouTube. So make it a date after this show. Don't go before we have a conversation about it. But I want you. Who has that brother or sister in their circle who has this same attitude towards our African food? I want to know. If you have the brother or sister, and Eric, I want you to come on board. Take the link, Eric, and join us. Let's have this conversation. Hi, Diamond Black. Welcome to the show. Eric, just click on the link and follow. You've done it before, so I'm waiting on you. But yeah, so I wanted us to talk about this. Thank you, George Mark. Leave our palm oil. Like what would you, my angle from this really was two ways. Do you have that brother or sister in your circle of friends or acquaintances who has this same kind of disdain towards African food? And if they do, what's your take on it? Hi, Jessica. Hi, Auntie. Hi, Cynthia. Welcome to the show. What's your take? And for those of you who are joining, okay, we've just watched 3 clips on Blue Therapy. So if you haven't watched it already, please do. If you've watched Blue Therapy and you want to be a part of this conversation, the link is in the comments, one of the top comments. Just click on it and join it, and I'll add you to the stream and let's talk about it. Like I said, today's show, so we're going to make it. We're alternating. We'll have a guest and then we'll have an interactive show. We'll have a guest and have an interactive show so that every member of the community can feel heard and have a place to share their thoughts and share their voice. So please, don't be shy. You know how we do it here. We learn through our shared experiences. So come on board. I can't have this conversation alone. So come and let's have this conversation. There's a thing in my room. But I'm waiting. And for those of you who have missed on it, while I'm waiting for Eric to join, I'm going to play this clip again. So please listen to it. They're pretty short, 1 minute each. So it's just 3 minutes. Listen to it and let's talk.
Do you ever eat the same meal together?
Let me tell you one of my biggest problems. He's kind of denounced our cultural foods.
Oh.
Yes. So he has issues with the fact it's oily. Even though he eats ice cream and he has takeout, he finds it too heavy. You don't have to eat it during the week, but on Sundays, for example, we can have a dinner. We could have some African dishes and that's one of the reasons he actually fell in love with me, my cooking. And all of a sudden now it's too fresh or it's too heavy and it's too fatty. There's too many calories in these dishes for him.
Have you always watched the calories and your weight, presumably, if you're watching the calories, or is this a new scenario?
Eating these kinds of food makes him look bad, or you feel some type of way, maybe eating with your hands. Is that what it is?
I disagree.
So I've actually realised that Paul's got an issue with African dishes. We're Nigerian. We grew up on these food. So I'm a bit confused. I can't eat African food every single day, but I wish to incorporate it into our lives and our dishes. You know, I am African. I'm proud to be African. I'm proud to be Nigerian, and I'm proud of the dishes I cook.
When we first started dating, right, you know, we used to, I remember I took her to this restaurant in Peckham. It's called Lolak, or Lolake. There's that. When we go there, we're getting down. It's kind of like a real bush, let me not say bush, but kind of, you know, you get down, you use your hands and all that stuff. But when you kind of think about it, you know, if I'm wearing a 2K suit, do I want to be in Peckham Market? No. I'd probably want to be Piccadilly Circus.
So in other words, you're saying that I'm bush.
I'm not saying... You're familiar with palm oil, right?
With
Palm oil?
palm oil, yes.
Yeah. Do you eat it at all?
I don't know.
Why?
I've never used it in cooking, so
Okay. It's quite bad for you, actually. It's quite bad for your insides. So, but at the same time, if you know, to be fair, if you did use it in cooking in terms of, well, proportionately, you know, if you weigh it, stuff like that, some people don't do that. But if you did, then maybe you'd be able to calculate what you're eating. So in theory, what I'm trying to say is, I don't have an issue with African dishes, but if the calories are not calculated, you're just filling your gut and you don't even know what's going on with your body.
You do have an issue with African dishes because if you're talking about calories, like I said before, he eats ice cream, he eats donuts,
It's calculated.
he eats donuts,
It's
and he also
calculated.
eats takeout, so pizza and etc.
It's calculated.
I don't need to calculate. Did your mum calculate when she was making you African dishes? These foods are not calculated. I calculate with my eyes, so I know how much palm oil I put in.
Eric, you have to mute me on your end.
Oh, I gotta mute you?
No, not mute me. I think if you have your phone, if you have me on your phone. So
No, it's not the phone. I have you on my laptop.
Oh, okay. Welcome to
I
the
actually dressed up for this. You see that? Hey.
Hey, I beg, we really need to talk, and this is why tonight we're talking about, are we losing?
I have a personal story about that, though.
Okay, before you get on that, I want to welcome all these people who have come. Welcome to the show, and if you're joining us today, we're talking about our Africanness. Are we losing our Africanness by trying to fit in the West? And these clips I showed you is from a show called Blue Therapy. I highly recommend it on YouTube. Type Blue Therapy. It's brilliant. I mean, the conversation, the issues that they face in their relationships, I'm sure we can relate to it, but it's so good. But I really want to talk about this bit, Eric. Let me hear your story. 2K suit.
No, but then I cannot get onto your show without first of all acknowledging what you do for the community. You understand?
Okay.
I appreciate what you do every single day. Sometimes I don't. I only watch it on record, right?
Mm-hmm.
But then I see your mindset, which is so positive, and I really desperately wish that a lot of people could have this. You understand?
Mm-hmm.
Let us keep the communication going because it is unhealthy when it doesn't happen.
Yes.
Yes. Now let me get to my story.
Yes, sorry.
It was in Chicago in 2003, right?
Mm-hmm.
I was dating this girl, and then back then I was I got to this country, and then I was still figuring myself out. I was driving a taxi.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so I went to one Nigerian event and got some very good food. Hey, ogbono, very tasty.
Yeah.
Come and put it in my fridge. Ha! I was driving and coming back to the house, hoping that when I come back, I will eat it.
Yep.
She trashed it.
She was not African.
She took it and trashed it, right?
So she put it in the bin.
She's an African American, right?
Uh-huh.
And then she was telling me that she thought the food was bad. I'm like, yo, really? Yo.
But wait, I can't blame her. She's African American. How would she know Ogbono? If you're not familiar with Ogbono, you would think first of all.
Yeah. Okay, yeah, I understand that. But then, please, okay, my food, don't touch it.
That's your relationship. You didn't make it clear, By that time, you should have introduced her to Ogbono. Like introduce her to that's I think one of the first things for those of you
cultural differences.
Yes, we need to introduce our significant others who are not part of our culture to our culture. Otherwise, why would she not throw a bono? Would she not be a bono? But going by and the guy's name is Paul, right? Going by Paul's what he's saying, like palm oil is bad for you. It is tacky to eat palm things. We are like,
man, what is not bad for anybody's health? Everything that you're going to be taking into your system will always have some how do I say this? So it's not it has nothing to do with palm oil at all. So when they start stigmatizing palm oil, what about this vegetable oil that we're eating every day here? Have you looked at the science of it?
I know, right?
If you are going to look at the science of it, you end up trying to be eating only olive oil, which is so damn expensive. I don't go there.
My thing with a lot of us Africans who have come here, right? I think Oversabi is killing us in the sense that we have come and we're reading all this literature about how everything, because if you want to follow the literature, the way we cook our food, we should all be obese. We should all have pot bellies like our uncles had back home.
Exactly. Yeah.
Do you understand? And there are a lot of us who are actually buying into this because now people are eating cauliflower fufu, oats, all these strange things. Like someone wants to eat arrow and they tell me they're eating arrow oats fufu. It's like how do you remix our African food? Like, is it the same? I mean, what is happening here? Is it a quest for health, or it is a need to fit on? What is it? I need to understand it because Paul is not alone in thinking that, in thinking like that. A lot of us have seen it. Even a lot of girls who are saying weight under the guise of weight loss. Master, they are remixing food here, like
like the way I mix music.
like the way you remix music. Like, okay, maybe I mean, if I'm sounding ignorant to you and you have a different opinion, please let us know. And if you want to join, guys,
what I can only say is this, right?
Yeah.
How do I even start this? Because sometimes I think about this thing too long. Like, okay, here's the deal. We come from our humble beginnings in Africa and all of that. We've come to a different culture. There's gonna be a culture shock at some point. You see, so sometimes I'm like, okay, it's like a give and take. You see what I mean? So yes, I'm gonna eat lasagna and all of that bullshit, but I will eat my fufu from Banza and will be very, very happy with it.
Like,
so but then you better when you come to the Francophone, you ever talk say Carrefour Carrefour de rencontre de culture. Yeah. We talk about when cultures come, it has to be a give and take.
Yeah.
You shouldn't ignore mine while I'm respecting yours. You see what I mean? Voila. So let me eat my own whatever.
Belle, I beg, not kill me with laugh. Belle says that I went to a friend's house in Cameroon. She cooked ekwang with olive oil. I beg, maybe the question I should ask: are we taking this healthy thing too far?
It is going too far.
Are we taking it too far? Does anyone think we are taking it too far?
It's going too far. Look, all of these doctors out here and all of them, I don't think they really know what they are even doing. Anyways, yeah, they are going to keep explaining everything. Guess what? I've been eating all of this stuff. I am healthier than a horse.
Wait, Afo says, Zega says, I can relate. I cook arrow with granite oil and olive oil. I beg unakam.
Yeah,
you cook arrow with granite. I beg, who else does that? Maybe I'm the only one. You cook
arrow. Olive oil is too expensive. No, don't even try it.
But doesn't it change the taste?
Well, I don't even know
And
what
for
they
the
even buy the
Nigerians, eru is kind of like a fang soup.
Eru is supposed to be cooked with red oil.
How do you cook eru with palm oil? I mean, with olive oil. Hey,
Ask her whether she actually likes what she actually cooks.
how does it taste? Because first of all, olive oil is has a really strong
Olive,
flavor.
yes, olive oil is bland. Yeah, that's the best way I can actually explain it.
But what do you guys think? Anybody who has an opposing opinion to my reaction, I want you on the show. The link is in the comment. Anybody wants to be on a part of this link, this show, just click on it and be in the comment. But let's go to Paul. What Paul is saying, right? Eric, if you were to advise Paul, or what would you say to Paul? Because he's a guy like you, now he's wearing. He says he cannot be wearing 2K suits to wear to go and eat in an African restaurant. First of all, in his mind, African restaurant is first of all bush.
Okay, what I got? I really have a very, very, very high despise for those type of people. You understand what I mean? Because he has lost his identity, pretty much. You understand? If you are going to feel like you are going to try to look hip by eating a certain type of food, which is not what is from your own land, man, this is what colonialism and all of these things has caused on us. Colonialism and everything. The white man has come and changed our mindsets to think that the white man's food is better, or a white man's lifestyle is better. Matter of fact, I am one of the victims. Here I am in the USA. I was supposed to be in Banso. That's a story of another day.
Yeah, exactly. I was going to say we are here. Now let's because no, but look at it. Okay, so many people actually cook eru with groundnut oil. I'm learning this for the first time, and for vegetable oil is what we call in Cameroon for the non-Cameroonians.
Vegetable oil.
And I'm learning it for the first time. So, Tessie, that's a good question. I think the question to me is, why would you prefer to cook with groundnut oil and not palm oil?
Palm oil is what works with eru.
Those who are cooking, not Vera, Immaculate, Zega, and who else? Why do you cook vegetable? Why do you cook eru with groundnut oil and olive oil and Andia instead of palm oil? Why? What's the reason behind that?
Voila. Eventually they will be typing, but then it would have been good if they would have come live so that we actually face it out.
So for Andia, she's just health conscious. So I'm very health conscious and not westernized. My job is very sedentary and I've become extremely cautious. Okay, so you're remixing our meals. Okay, but then now let me look at the Chinese and the Indians. Look at what they've been able to do with their food, so much so that we all in the West have adopted their food as a delicacy, even because in our homes, if you want to have a treat, you go and get Chinese, isn't it? You want to have a treat, you take the children to you go and get Indian food. Why can't we do that? I think that's the question. Why can't we do that? Why is it hard for us to do that?
We're pretty much selling ourselves short. That's the way I can place it. Because right now in Cameroon, the Chinese people have taken over almost everything.
That's the story. So, but let's keep it focused on us here in the West.
Yeah. You know, I go everywhere.
Why? Okay, let me. Are we ashamed of our food because our food is so spicy? But we eat spicy. Have you, Tessie? Have you been to Indian restaurants?
Oh, when I was in Chicago in 2004. That was where I used to actually go and have a good time because there was no African restaurant in Chicago. Yeah.
Okay, I'm adding Vera. Welcome to the show.
Hey! Hello,
Hey,
Vera.
what's up? Hello, hi.
On the
Hi.
Good to finally get to talk to you, Eric. I
car.
I see a lot of you. I hear a lot of you.
Oh,
Well done,
yeah,
Anu. I am
I hope it's for the better because me too.
no good
Have
things. Good
I made
things.
some crazy noise.
No, good things, my dear. Good things.
Okay.
Oh,
Anu, thank you so much. I just love this. You're talking about and you're talking. I've just come back from work and as you can see, I'm
okay.
in my second office, right?
Yes.
And you know my passion for food. I can't hear food and not contribute. So
Exactly.
I've just been typing and my hands, I'm like, oh, you know what? I better just do what I have to do.
Please
Just
go
get
on, go
to
on. The floor is
Voila.
yours.
I am cooking granola soup. Do you know the Bamleke granola soup with a bit of okra with bonga and
Topsy
onion
Baba,
right now?
Topsy Babana, Topsy Banana.
Yes. Today is not top. Today is granola soup. But let me say this.
Yeah.
As somebody who is very passionate for health,
Mm-hmm.
you know, I have done all sorts of diets, the keto diet, you name it.
Mhm.
For somebody who is a caterer, for somebody who I live and breathe food, anybody who knows me knows that my
Yeah.
home is food itself.
Yeah.
Issue that we have to understand, even with olive oil. So when I began my health journey last year, I got to read a lot about the MCT oil, you know, olive oil, you name it.
Mhm.
Now somebody's saying I'm cooking my Erosion with granite oil. Let me tell you, granite oil is one of the most unhealthiest oil currently. I don't even use it. Yeah. If you look at if I was to show you, so I would use coconut oil for cooking, or I use my MCT, or I use my olive oil, my
Mhm.
palm oil. What
Yeah.
makes food
Olive, Vera, my problem with olive oil is that it's expensive, masa.
okay?
Health
Yeah,
is
and
expensive.
that's true.
The health is
And that
expensive.
is true. Yeah, health is expensive, and good olive oil is expensive. You've got some cheap ones, but the really good ones are expensive. Now, the thing is, what people say in terms of palm oil, I put down on the comment section, our forefathers ate all this unprocessed food, and they lived for years and years,
Can you
strong and
imagine that?
healthy. You didn't hear them dying like flies, okay? The issue of food these days is not, oh, it's healthy, it's not. It's the processing of the food,
Yes.
that
Yeah.
the breaking down of components that makes it
Almost
unhealthy.
everything that we eat here in the USA, right? Is
Mm-hmm.
is a version of some stuff. And
Yeah.
then those conservation type of things and all of those, that is what kills, not even the food itself.
Yeah.
Mhm.
If
Go
you
on.
want to, if you want to do your oils, if you really want to be 100% with regards to oils that you eat, you need to do them yourself. Whether it's granite oil, you can blend your peanut, you can put it in. You have just Google. If either you Google it or go to YouTube how to make
Mhm.
your own oil and make them yourself. If it's coconut oil, you do it. Then you are sure.
Mhm.
So long as you're buying from a shelf and you think you're being healthy,
No.
believe you me, you're not. If you're buying the real stuff, you will pay through your pocket. You will feel the pinch. So
Mhm.
even as a nutritionist, even as a caterer, when you say to me, Vera, I want food and I have to cook, and if you say to me, I want healthy food, know that I might bring you a little pot of eru and you may pay 200 pounds. If you say, I just want eru, your normal day to day, it might cost you less.
Mhm.
So when people throw the slang around, health, no, me I show me na only olive oil, me I show me na only this. The question you should ask, what kind of olive oil are you eating? What kind of palm oil are you eating?
Yeah.
What kind of granite oil? And to be honest with you, granite oil for me is a no-no. When you start reading it, how they've broken down the processing and what it then
Yeah,
turns
yeah,
into,
yeah. Granite
you'll be
oil. They
putting
ever
away
just
from
call
it.
them say granite oil, but most of those things is vegetable oil. So
Granite oil, sunflower, vegetable oil. If you can
voila.
stay away from it,
Mhm.
100% do that. Coconut
So
oil
can,
is good and you can make it yourself.
Vera, somebody's asking which is the best, which oil is the best, which oil is the best, guys? Is there anyone that's the
Olive
best?
oil is the best, but it's expensive.
Olive oil is good, but then again, let's take it down to where we come from, which is this topic.
I know. Ever chop olive oil?
There are certain
I better,
foods.
I better take that money buy Heineken.
Okay, you be typical Cameroon Eric. Just hush. Make Vera school we for now. Vera, go on.
In terms of olive oil, you also need to know the grade.
Brother,
Every oil that
at some point we are going to check out of this world. So why not just have fun? Come on now.
no, you can have fun, but
But there are people who want to be healthy, right?
yeah. So
Yeah.
every oil comes in different grades. It's about the processing as well. The more the process it, the cheaper it is. Remember, for instance, let's say sunflower oil. Simple understanding. If the amount of sunflower oil that we see on the shop shelves, right?
Yeah.
Mhm.
How many sunflower what will I say, farms have you seen to produce that quantity?
Mhm.
Well,
It's
we
not
get the right temperature for Cameroon. I say people really want to invest in those plantations.
Yeah,
well,
but for we,
that's what I'm saying. That the
for those of
quantity
us
that
in
we
the
can
West,
produce is
Well,
not
you
enough
remember this guy when they call him Roland Formundam, right?
yeah,
I always follow him because he always speaks a lot of sense.
when it comes to farming, right?
Yeah,
But
yeah.
wait, Eric, let Vera just finish this her train of.
I'm trying to deviate her from.
Yes. I think it's useful information. I think it's useful information. Vera, please go on.
No, Bella, please, keep on. I am actually learning.
Yeah, because Vera, wait, somebody is saying that Mami actually says one of the best oil is avocado oil, and then
exactly.
Beja says it's coconut oil. So which is it?
So I make my stew with avocado. Avocado is really good because it doesn't have smell. It doesn't have that strong pungent smell that olive oil has. It's light in the tongue. It does. It tastes. Oh, you wouldn't know it's avocado oil unless somebody told you. You can fry. You can deep fry with it, which is another issue with oil. You know how hot can it get? What happens during the breaking down process?
Deep fry.
There's a lot of literature that goes to it and the understanding, but it's something that you have to. It's not about me standing here saying it's something you really need to read on, get information about. Palm oil is actually very good.
Mm-hmm.
What is not good with palm oil is when you bleach palm oil. When it exceeds a certain temperature, then you destroy palm oil.
We're going to bleach them, then deep fry. What do you call that? Banana chips.
Okay, this is really good. I mean, I'm sure we're all okay. Now, Anret is saying it's the best oil is extra virgin olive oil. Okay, so now you see that's why we all really need to read and have these conversations. So every oil, which in your opinion, Anret, you think is extra virgin oil. My mom thinks it's avocado oil. For those of us
it depends on what you're cooking. Okay, if I was cooking, right? It depends on, if you say, Vera, I need pasta, I would use extra virgin straight away. I wouldn't even think about it. If I want to make my normal stew, fish stew, I will use avocado oil. If I want to make, say, fried rice, I will use coconut oil. And it's also about, like I said again, you need to understand the processing of the oil that you have bought. Because there is coconut oil and there is coconut oil. There is cheap coconut oil, which is produced in mass quantities for the masses. And there is the actual one where the breaking down has not been done for, I don't know, massive consumption. So you need to understand. That's what I'm saying. Understanding, reading about it is imperative because that's the only way you can make an informed decision in terms of what is actually healthy.
So, okay. All right. Okay. All of this, all right. Okay.
But I desperately hope that you are imparting this this knowledge in your community because knowing so much and keeping it to yourself is not healthy at all.
I can see mommy is typing, and mommy is actually spot on. You see, the knowledge of her mother. She says you don't cook with olive oil. And again, like I said before, you have to understand temperatures. When you put oil in particular temperatures, they start breaking down. Different things are happening with that oil, and it becomes unhealthy.
Yeah.
So if we need to know,
okay,
all I would say for now is, if I would say the oils that you should keep away from: sunflower oil, granola oil, vegetable oil. Those will be the first ones I would say stay away from.
Okay, let me say we know a job again now.
so Vera,
Yeah.
so Vera, mommy, and all of this. So what will you now say to people who are now cooking eru with groundnut oil, thinking that they're being healthy, like Zega, like
It's not.
mhm.
It's not, and that's a misconception.
Yes.
That's the misconception that we have. Palm oil is actually healthy. If you go to, for instance, let me give you an example. Here in the UK, if you go to Sainsbury's right now, there is a little container of palm oil, which is their own brand, not necessarily our brand. And it's really, really expensive. I had one lady tell me, oh, that's the only one I use. And very few Sainsbury's have it in stock. Okay. Very few. Now, the people who buy it are the top guns, because they know. And we think that these people don't use palm oil. They use palm oil. They don't just use it in the quantities that we use. It doesn't come in a jerry can like the one I sell in my shop. It doesn't come in my 1 liter like the one I sell in my shop. It comes in little fancy bottles, and they've all functionized it, and they sell it, and they're top guns buying it.
You have a shop?
Yes, she has an African shop in Kettering. Is in Kettering, sis, right?
Kettering,
yeah.
Oh, okay.
So
then at least we need to promote it by all means.
What about corn oil? Even I know that Kevin Bonso, that is unhealthy. That's one of the worst. Corn oil is one of the worst. It's very unhealthy. Yeah.
Very, 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 very. For now, you guys stick to avocado oil, extra virgin oil, coconut oil, and with coconut oil as well, you need to be a bit mindful. So I get like the raw organic extra virgin coconut oil, like that. So they're different, and that's why I say you need to invest.
That's where I have a bone of contention with you. I've been eating granite oil all this while. Come on now, go you. Give us some hope.
I know we have.
Go and check your insights, Eric.
I know we do. I know we've been eating it. Our forefathers didn't eat granite oil. They actually got the banga, mashed it, and cooked their food and ate. And they lived for 90, 100 years. They don't go to hospital.
Right.
They were not every day in my waist, my back, my this. They were living healthy and strong. I don't want to go into the, the science of all this in terms of colonialism and all of that. But now,
that's something that we cannot change,
But education, we need to educate ourselves.
Which one is granular oil then? Diamond
granular oil.
Granular oil.
It's more common in America. It's not healthy.
Okay.
It's not.
To me personally, everything in America, and that's how I feel that.
The world, we are too many of us. They need to produce in mass quantities. So that's what we're getting. We're getting unhealthy stuff to keep us alive, sadly. So, yeah.
So is it sunflower oil, vegetable oil that is bad, or both? Before you go, Vera, before you and Eric go.
Like I said before, if you
Vera is going where? She's here.
She's cooking. She has to go.
No,
you have to bring more people.
Listen, for me, like I said,
no, I go miss Vera too much.
Eric, I will mute you. Eric, I'll mute you. Let Vera speak. And after this section, the next group of people are coming. So let's finish up. We have a lot to talk about. Vera, go on. The question is it
sunflower oil, vegetable oil, corn oil, granola, all of those are unhealthy. If you have the money, there are things like walnut oil. But for me, if you have the time, you can make your own oil. It's so easy.
Okay, really?
Okay. It's true. You can make your own oil. If you've
Okay,
got time. If you haven't got time.
let me challenge you. I know you're so busy. One Saturday, just do a YouTube video and we'll share it among us. How we can make our
I know
oil.
you know my Saturdays,
I
right?
know now. I know. Okay, one day like that, just do a YouTube video. Let's
Exactly.
let's learn how to
Yeah. Give us the processes.
No problem. I will
And
take up your challenge.
thank you. And for those in the UK,
All right.
buy
Bye, Eric.
for those in the UK, you can get
Okay.
avocado oil from Costco. That's the only place I know where to get it. Avocado oil, and it's not cheap. It's like £12 for like a 1 liter bottle. So, but yeah, but I mean, if you're doing health, think about so. In conclusion, what they call it, cooking eru with granola oil is not necessarily helpful. So basically, in my opinion, you cannot remix our African food. Like, it makes no sense. Now, how will you remix it? How are you going to? But anyway, if it works for you, it works for you. But generally speaking, guys, am I talking or am I not talking? How do you remix eru? It's like you want to cook koki and you cook it, with vegetable oil.
No,
That's
it
not
doesn't work. It cannot even work. That's why I test them. So I go say no. This is not. You know.
Yes, what you say, Master? Just, I think that's it. And so many people are saying it. Eat everything in moderation. And Tessie says, I believe everyone knows what is best for them. What is good for A might not be good.
That person who says eat everything in moderation is right.
Mm-hmm.
Anything when you abuse it will always impact your life in a wrong way.
So yes, thank you so much, Eric. I have to let you go so we can bring the next group of people.
Thank you for having me.
I love you. Love you. Thank you
for you in DC.
We'll come.
Bye.
Bye. Thank you, guys. So like I said, the comments, the link to join the show is in the comment section. So if you want to join us, please don't hesitate. And for all of you who are watching, please share. It doesn't look like we're sharing the link, so please share the links so that more people can join us. Let's really talk about it. Are we losing our Africanness? The first way that to try to fit in the West, the first way we try to talk about that is through our food. Are we losing our Africanness by trying to I keep using the word remixing our African food so that we fit in with the with how things are done in the West? Or is there a way where we can still fit in the West and still maintain our authentic culture? Like everybody has said, eat everything in moderation. Like the Chinese, they've kept their culture. They have even exported their meals. The Indians, even the Jamaicans. Now we want to remix our own. Like, let's think about how we are slowly losing our culture so that tomorrow our children don't come and say, I don't eat that like that boy. And if you haven't watched this clip already, please, I beg you, go and watch Blue Therapy. Go and watch Blue Therapy on YouTube and come and thank me later. It's amazing. It's very funny. So let's move on to the next conversation. So those of you, I'm sure a lot of you have heard of this Nigerian actor called Regina Daniels. I think she's been in the news. She's been in the news a lot in the past because her mother, according to the story, to the man, I actually watched his interview. Her mother gave her at the age of 18 to marry this 70-year-old man, and she's married him as his number whatever wife, and she has a child for him. Well, guess what? Over the weekend, her mother got engaged. Her mother got married, and this is the engagement video. So that was her mother's engagement video. And guess who she got married to? She got married to a younger man. So basically, does anybody know this story? If you know this story, come on, let's talk about it. if you know this story, come, let's talk about it. So Regina Daniel's mother, according to her husband, a billionaire named Nwoko, gave her to marry a 70-year-old man, because the man said the mother introduced his daughter to her and said, look, if you like her, you can marry her. And I did watch that interview, and he married her. And then Regina's mother has gone on to marry a much younger man. I thought I had better pictures of this. She's gone on to marry a much younger guy. I think my question with this is, what are your thoughts? What do you think about this kind of situation? Like, I don't know if I should hold my opinions, if I should speak, but I just found it very icky. Like how do you? I'm one of those who would say that she pimped her daughter out, and I'm going to use that word very carefully. I think that, okay, people will have all kinds of reasons, but Regina is and Tessa Agbo, do you want to come and let's have this conversation? If you listen to the man's Tessa, I'm waiting for you. The link is in the comments. Come join us. If you listen to the man's interview, Tessie, the man said the mother introduced the girl to him and asked him if he liked her. He had never met the girl before. He had never even watched her movie. This is not a film, FOC. This is a real story. She married the man when she was 18. The mom said to the man said, I've never watched her film. I don't even know this young girl. The mother was friends through somebody, and she's like, if you like her, you can have her. So that's why I use the word pimp. She pimped her daughter out to this billionaire who was 70 years old. That child was 18, right? Now it's her turn to get married, and she has married a younger lover. I don't even know what I make of this story. And I think the reason why I brought this story here is because I don't even know what to think. Like, it's so confusing to me. It is so confusing to me. What did Belle say? When she grows old and her husband is dead, she will marry a young guy too. But what do you guys make of this? I don't even have a question. It's just one of those things that I've been thinking. Like, why would you do that? Like they wanted to acquire wealth and fame. They've got a game plan. Yeah, that's why I use the word pimp. She saw a billionaire. She knew that he liked young, pretty girls, and she secured her daughter's future. That's why I used the word pimp, and I didn't use it lightly. Like I said, I thought about it when I watched the man's interview. I was like, this lady just pimped up, picking out to that man, and there's nothing. Mimi says, but the man looks older than her. I shouldn't laugh. But no, the man is much younger. The man is over 10 years younger than Regina's mother. But I'm bringing this on two fronts. One, I have found something. Is it just me, or is there a growing trend? I'm using the word trend. Is there a growing trend of women marrying younger partners? Is it just me who is noticing that? Has anyone else noticed that trend? That is a growing trend. And is this happening in your circles? Are you finding that our friends are marrying younger the women are marrying younger guys? Is this a thing? Is it just me who's noticed that? It's so quiet in the house. What are you guys saying? That she didn't. It's her choice. Who won't cry on bike under rain than for limo? I'm not saying I don't know if I'm saying it's bad. She pimped her daughter. Her daughter. Look, even me self, I want cry for limousine. You know, I want cry for mansion for Beverly Hills. I know I cry for. Thanks for coming, Judith. I know I cry for Bokwango. You understand? I want cry too, but Judith, let me hear. Go on.
Look, Annie, the things that are coming out of Africa today,
Uh-huh.
every day I turn on my social media and I see stuff, and I'm just like, okay, what next? Speaking about the trend,
Mm-hmm.
I know the hustle is real. I can barely recognize the country or the continent we left behind. Our values, not just, we're talking about food. Food
Mm-hmm.
is just a minor part of it. Our values are going down the drain, especially with liberalism has brought on an approach of letting people live their lives.
Mm-hmm.
This is being slowly applied. People are letting their kids do what they want to do, even minor children, in the name that, oh, we should let people live their lives. But it's resulting in our values being eroded
Mm-hmm.
as a people. It's not just our food that's going away. It's not just our clothes. It's not just our heritage. Our values as an African people is slowly fading away.
But why do you think that it is so easy for the African to give away their value?
Because of poverty, the economic dependence, the economic weakness that we have, because we haven't been able to emerge as a continent economically, the youth can find employment. They're all looking for shortcuts to make it in life. Okay, so if you leave university, been to school, you come out of school. I'm not condoning this. I'm not saying this to say this is right. I'm just trying to say it from the perspective of what I see happening.
Yeah.
With over time, we've seen how our economic power is degrading in Africa. Our governments are doing worse and worse every day, the corruption. So people are trying to survive.
Mm-hmm.
And they will find any means to survive. I don't know if you watched that. There's a video going on social media of a lady testifying in Nigeria of having been kidnapped by a group of boys with some
Mm-hmm.
other women and being hacked. The other women were hacked to death
Mm-hmm.
just for money. It all falls under that canopy of fast money. The youth are no longer looking to work hard. Social media is influencing them negatively. Everyone wants to be an influencer.
But Judy, let me argue. Regina Daniel's mother is of the generation of our mothers, right?
Mm-hmm.
And look at her mindset.
Yeah, no. That's why I'm saying that when we talk about the values being eroded, our parents are losing the core values. Like greed has given way. Like values are giving way to greed. This lady is so greedy that she doesn't care. She's
Mm-hmm.
able to pimp out her daughter, and I'm going to agree with you point blank. She pimped out her daughter,
Mm-hmm.
simple, straight. Because how do you explain the fact that an 18-year-old
Marry a 70-year-old.
is going to marry a 70-year-old, regardless of how, and not just a polygamous marriage? She gets into polygamous, and I see people trying to justify that, say, "Oh, they should live their life." I'm like, come on, that is pedophilia.
It is. I don't want to call it that, but that's kind of pedophilia.
That's crap. And it's shameful that when you look at the comments these days on social media, everywhere, people are trying to justify that.
Mm-hmm.
So it just speaks. Her mother, with getting married to this guy, I don't know who she got married to. It speaks to the character of the parent. It speaks to the type of woman that she is.
Yeah.
And she's not the only one. There's a lot of parents like that these days that are ready to literally sell out their kids for money. Some do it, some will be more subtle, some might do with a bit of reservations, but our values are just flying out the door. Mothers are pushing their kids into marriages, some are pushing them into internet scamming just to get money. Bring me the money, I don't care.
Mm-hmm.
Just bring me the money. So
just bring the money. Look at what your friends are doing for their parents.
exactly.
Why is my own different? Yeah, I know.
Yeah. And a lot of parents, they know that their kids, not just we have cases of kids, girls prostituting themselves, and their moms know. And when the kid brings home this money, they spend it, and they know that this kid is not working, is not making that money.
Yeah.
So it's just part of what is going on right now, and it's really sad because you look at this girl, Regina. She's young. She had everything going on for her. She could have, and this particular trend in Africa of people being made to think that you can't make it on your own. It's true that it's going to be hard. Let's take an example of Kim Kardashian. She's a self-made billionaire. She made the Forbes billionaire list this year. She earned it. She worked at. Given that, yeah, she might have had a head start through her father or something, but it shows that you can come from nothing. We've had people like Samuel Eto'o. We've had people come from nothing and become something.
Mm-hmm.
So the sooner we start to teach our kids, especially the girl child, that you don't get ahead in life by pimping yourself out. But they don't like that. When you start to talk about that, the younger generation today is gonna be like, let us live our lives and blah
But
blah
what?
blah.
Okay, Zega argues that we're coming to terms with the fact that it is not a taboo to love someone younger. Women are no longer cage birds. So that's the angle she's seeing it from.
Yeah, but when we're talking about generational differences, we're not talking about 2 or 3 years or 5 years. We're talking about generational difference. That is a completely different story. Even
Yeah.
if we took this fast, like if we rewound the clock back, and this guy was like 65, 5 years back, this girl is going to be how old? 13? My old. I mean, like, come on, regardless of how well we want to.
No, think about it. When he was 16, she was 10.
Yeah. So regardless of how and what she's saying, Afo is saying, it's exactly what we're trying to do in society. We're trying to give ourselves justification, make it sound nice. Let's find a reason to make it look good, and then that's liberalism on the go. Like, it's okay. Well, these older people are marrying younger ones. Yeah, it happens, but come on, my sister, that one bad.
Okay, let's bring it now to Cameroon. Is this something? Have you noticed it? Is it a thing? Is it happening? Are older women marrying younger women within your circles? In
Yeah.
Canada, you're in Canada.
Yes, I've met a couple. Like, I never knew that was, until I used to hear about it, right?
Yeah.
But I really, you remember where we came from, like
Yeah.
that rosy world. You never believe that stuff like that really happened.
Yeah.
So I actually met a number of couples, and yeah. And even when I heard about it, I still thought, okay, maybe it's just a rumor, but then you get to know that it's real.
Judy, I'm really curious. Wait, I'm curious. Why? Because your hesitation, because you're kind of hesitating to. So what do you view it? How do you view it in your opinion? I'm not from a right or wrong perspective, but how do you view it? Like people.
Well, traditionally we've been meant to think that a man is supposed to be older or at least of the same age as the woman. But yeah, that's where we came from culturally. That's where we came from. But over time, I've come to realize that age has got nothing to do with wisdom and maturity.
Right.
If you look at
love, but let me go with you. Yes.
Yeah, age has got nothing to do. To me, the way I see it, when they say age is a number, it's about the level of maturity that it brings. I've seen 40-year-olds that are even more mature than 50-year-olds. If you look at your kids growing up, you'll find that not always the oldest one is the most mature, the smartest. So I think it's all about the level of maturity, the way you carry yourself, and what wisdom and your ability to face life. So if you're talking about 3, 4, 5 year differences, and the man is like 5 years younger than the woman, or 3 years, I can see that happening. In certain cases, the younger man might even be more mature and more responsible than the older woman. So to me, it's all about, are they able to meet each other at the same level, regardless of age? But not generational difference, my sister.
Not generational difference.
That's like 3 generations. Regina and this man is like 4 generations out. It's like getting married to your great grandchild. Like, that's crazy. Yeah. So I'm just gonna say, people are gonna come at me, but you know what? I don't really care.
Actually, no one's coming at you. I think everyone agrees. Everyone's just quiet. The comments, nothing's happening.
Yeah, but people are afraid to voice your opinions because the majority are going to say, "Oh, you guys are jealous. She's having the time of her life," or "You're haters." And no, but I'm a parent. I can't understand how someone would do that to their own daughter. It's disgusting.
Yeah. Okay, so Belle says that the problem is because we have been brought up to understand that childbearing is the reason behind marriage. We're still to come to terms with the fact that it's for companionship.
Well, I don't think it's got, in my opinion anyway, I'm speaking for myself, I don't think it's got anything to do with childbearing. It's got to do with experience and maturity. Can we talk about the same things? Can we be on the same page? Do we have things in common? Tell me what an 18-year-old have in common with a 70-year-old man. Forget about the child. What I got to be I think it's the experience. Can you guys have a conversation? Can you be on the same page? Can you walk together? This guy's like three generations ahead.
Yeah.
He's had how many wives? What is he gonna do? What do they talk about?
Yeah, but Tessie says, in my opinion, it doesn't really matter as long as the age difference is under 10 years old.
Well, like I said, relatively 10, 5, I'm not giving a recommendation. What I'm just saying is that if there's an age difference, the level of maturity, I mean, like, the gap shouldn't be that wide such that you are lost, because it's obvious that between this 18-year-old and 17-year-old man,
Yeah.
there's a gap in. But if you're talking 10 years old, again, I'll say with a 10-year-old case, what matters to me, it's not the 10 years. It's about when you look at the man and then you look at the woman. Do they vibe? Are they on the same page? I know. Why are you bringing this picture again?
I need to remind people who we're talking about, and in that, for your benefit, Regina Daniels is a Nigerian child actor. If you watch Nigerian films back in the days, you would have seen this little cute girl. And watching her, I was like in my 20s watching her, and yeah, that's her. And her mother is this other woman on the right who introduced her to this billionaire, the 70-year-old man, and made her marry him.
Yeah, you know, it's disgusting. Every time I see that, I'm just, it's horrible. What I mean, like,
And
I don't know.
she's his fifth wife, right, or something
That's
ridiculous.
the thing. It's not even a monogamous union.
It's not a monogamous union. She's his fifth wife or sixth wife thereabouts. So he's got many wives. And he says, in his own words, he said, "I wanted more children." He didn't marry her for love. He married her because she'll give him children.
And that's the thing. So she's a baby factory.
Yep, that's it.
And I mean, like, well, you know what, that story. So I don't know how people can rationalize something like that, because that one passed me, my sister.
The thing is, so many people have rationalized it. Every time I come across this story, and then when I saw the mother got married this weekend, and then she married a younger man, like, make it make sense. You give your daughter to a 70-year-old man, then you marry a younger guy.
Because people are saying
younger than you.
Okay,
like,
let's reverse this. If this guy were not a billionaire, would people be saying, rationalizing it?
Oh.
If he were a broke guy, like a 70-year-old man in the village.
Yeah, exactly.
Would you rationalize this? Is it just because money makes the difference?
Money.
And then we complain that we're losing our values.
But that's it. That's one of the ways we're losing our values. And you're so right. That's one of the ways. They are even in Africa. But I know what else have you noticed? Being out here in the West, another way that we are losing our African-ness. And African-ness is our values.
Yeah, it's the way. If you look, one thing I noticed is the way people back in Africa are now talking. Everyone wants to speak like they're living in the West. Did you notice that, the accent?
No.
All right. If you
in Nigeria, yes, but not
even in Cameroon. Well, we live in the West. We have no choice. Your accent starts to change because you have to keep up with work. You have kids at home. We're speaking a different accent.
Who speak like, oh my gosh, like my children never understand what I'm saying. Like,
you know, even though you're trying very hard. But I find that today in Africa, everyone wants to speak like they're living in the West. Your accent is a definition of who you are. That's your identity.
Yeah.
So at work, I will speak with a Western accent because I need to be understood. But my sister, when I go home for Kwatati, I have to speak my pidgin in the real accent. That is who we are.
And I always say this. So this accent thing is interesting because I always say I don't have an accent. I've learned how to try and speak clearly. Probably there's a hint of British intonation, but yes. I don't have a British. My children tell me that anyway. I speak very African.
That hint of the British accent is something that you can't control because
you just pick it up.
You just pick it up because.
But I know, talking about this, I know that when I used to be in Nigeria, and I'm talking 15 years ago, there were new channels that were being formed that if you didn't speak with a foreign accent, you were not hired. It was intentional.
And that's part of the cultural identity we are losing. Like it's still part of the colonial trend. All right. For example, we watched the movie Fisherman's Diary. The reason for me was a hit was because when I turned on, I went to Netflix and put on this movie. I heard my traditional pidgin spoken in the accent that I knew.
That you're familiar with, yeah.
And it invokes memories. It invokes feelings that you can relate to. You can relate to what's going on. That is who we are. But more than half of our African films, especially the Nigerian films, everyone is trying to speak like they're living in the US. So what will cause me to come watch a Nigerian film if I'm going to get the same thing I'm being served on an American film, I come back to my roots because I want to be reminded of that which I left.
But you know, you're one of not too many. Trust me, when it comes to that one, you're one of not too many. A lot of people want to want that. They want to be sold that dream, especially the ones in Africa. They want to be sold that dream, that life that they all dream of, like you said. I mean,
yes, and so let's think about it. So if we're trying so hard to be like the colonial masters of the West, so we're losing everything, and then we complain about losing our identity.
I swear. Right.
So that's the irony. We are trying to be like them. We don't want to speak like we're supposed to speak. We don't want to keep our accent. We're changing the way we dress. We're changing the way we eat.
I know we're not cooking eru with vegetable oil. Shout out to Zega and Andia.
And I was like, okay, I was thinking, like, why would I cook? If I want to eat eru, I am one who does African food every week at home. African food is great. Like if I'm gonna eat it, I'm gonna go all out. I no longer do pound yam. I do actual water fufu. I do water leaf. So to me, it's the real deal or nothing. That's how you.
Do you feel like the longer we stay here? I think I found that the older we get or the longer we stay here, we now try to recapture those African values that we lost during our growth.
Yeah, we want. Yeah, I try to hold on to that because without that, 20, 30 years from now, I will be completely assimilated into this society, right? So I try to look back and say, okay, what are those things that I can hang on to?
Food, one.
Food is one of them. So I make sure that every week I have African food at home with the kids, and I don't try to modify if it's arrow, palm oil, everything. The full 9 yards.
Yeah, and I think I want to ask that. I want to ask the same question to everybody who's watching. What are some of those values or some of those ways that you keep the culture alive? Mine is it's not just the food; it's pidgin. Because I'm one of those who doesn't really speak my dialect fluently. I know a few words, so I am intentional. I'm very intentional about teaching my children Cameroon pidgin. Like very intentional about it.
Yeah, I speak Cameroon pidgin with my husband at home, and sometimes I speak it to my children, but on a regular basis. But I make sure that I make certain statements to them. Oh, I say, oh, in Cameroon, this is how you say this. And then they will bust out laughing, but they know that, and they always say, wow, you speak like 5 or 6 different languages. They say you speak English, you speak French, you speak pidgin, you speak your mother's tongue, you speak your father's tongue. I say, yeah, that's who we are as a people. I'm going to take you to Cameroon so you can hear all this being spoken. So regardless of the fact that they go to school, they learn what they learn there, I try to keep them grounded.
Zega is asking, what about Western names? Is that not part of losing our identity?
It is. It definitely is a big part of it. And unfortunately, most of us, when we gave our kids Western names, we were so ignorant, we didn't know what we were doing.
Took a few years to wake up.
Ignorance is bliss, like they say.
Not really. In the grass.
So I was ignorant. Like, I don't know about other people.
I was
ignorant. And we thought that just like what we're seeing happening now, we were in that cocoon of ignorance, and we thought that by giving our kids Western, we were going to be more Western. No, and we're going to be more accepted. And if I could turn back the hands of time, that would not happen.
You're right. You're talking about it. I'm going back to how much we were colonized mentally, that we were not even aware that we actually thought that these Western names were cuter and prettier. And like, look at me. I gave my daughter an Arabic name. How is an Arabic name better than a Bayan name? I don't know. Yeah, anyway, you live and you learn.
The things that we have done, like, I wish I could turn back the hands of time, but of course, there's no point. I don't like regrets, but I wish I could talk to the other people. I mean, like the younger generations back home too, and I wish they could listen. because I do understand why they won't listen. I was there once and I wouldn't have listened.
They won't. It will be a story of you've enjoyed. Let me come out and enjoy as well.
Yeah.
But
In my experience, living in the West, you get accepted when you are yourself, when you try to be who you are, instead of trying to assume an identity that is not yours.
yes, and that's why whenever I'm in a professional setting, unlike you, I talk very African.
Yeah.
My husband is always like, babe, like, why do you sound like so mommy? I'm like,
No, sometimes
that's my own rebellion. I'm just being African. That's the, yeah.
I wish
I
I could
think I intentionally sound African, like
I wish
Cameroon.
I could speak like that, but unfortunately, they won't
You've always
understand.
spoken really fast. This is not new. You've always spoken like that. That's like,
Well, I mean, like, you have to. Yeah, I've always been told I speak too fast. So try to slow down, take a deep breath. But you have to, when you're working in a professional milieu where no one else understands your accent, you have to adapt to be able to communicate better.
They do. They will understand because they understand when the Russians speak. They understand it. They understand it when the Chinese speak. So they will understand mine. It's as simple as that.
However, don't forget that we're at a disadvantage compared to the Russians and all the rest.
Always, aren't we?
So when you're trying to survive, especially when it comes to your daily bread, there are things that you have to do to adapt.
But then, Judith, see, let me play devil's advocate. That's how we lose these values. You see, those little things that we're trying to do to adapt, that's how we lose our values.
But you have to be real as well, right? You need to pay your rent. You need to put food on the table.
Okay, then there's a moot point, right? Because
so what I'm saying is you have to find.
We may as well wrap.
You have to find a balance. Like that's why I'm saying in Cameroon, if I were working in Cameroon, I wouldn't have to speak like that. So that's what I'm asking. Sorry, someone living in Africa, why do they need to speak like that?
Oh, I see.
You get the point, right? So there's things that you can't be all together African, 100% while living in a different culture, because their point here is they want you to be able to integrate into the system to become more Canadian as time goes on.
Okay.
So that proves that, well, in the immigration sense of things, integration is key. And integration means different things to them.
Yeah.
And it does to us. So you're being sucked in, but you're also trying to find a way to hang on to what
to whatever you can hold on. That's your
so
value.
that's my approach. I find the things that I can hold on to, like the food, like the African dressing.
For myself, like my daughters in African clothes. Yeah, my sons, I missed that trend, but the girls love their Afritude. Yeah, but I get that.
I wish I could do the Afritude more often, but the weather is so crazy around here that
somehow I've convinced. Once I convinced my now 7-year-old, when she was 5, I convinced her that the African-ness, because she likes show. So I played to her. I played with that. When you wear this, you stand out anywhere you go. Like, oh my gosh, look at Layla. So, and she likes that. I played it made it palatable to her, and she likes it. So she's always in her kaba or her African thing. That's all she wears. She loves it.
Yeah, my kids know that on the weekends, my kaba. I have a kaba that hangs in my kitchen, in my pantry. When I get home, I don't wear my apron. I put my kaba over whatever I'm wearing for work, and I get into the kitchen. So all of them have their kabas. They're days on the weekends that they wear their kabas, and they're around the house. So it's just finding that. But sometimes I miss the fact that people who work in Cameroon, live in Cameroon. The fact that you can work in the office and turn around to a coworker and speak your pidgin, then laugh. Like anything.
Inda, Vera is saying I should get you on this conversation. Please just click on the link. The link I've sent the StreamYard link. I'll send it again. She says a few. What did Vera say? A few weeks ago, you featured in an article about regaining our names in its originality. So I've just shared the link. Inda, we're waiting for you, Judith and I. Come join us before we go quickly. Let's hear your 2 cents.
Yeah, so I also try at home to call my kids by their middle names. Yes. So they remember that. And then I tell them what the names mean, if it has a meaning, and who they were named after.
Yeah.
Those things. So you just try to. I miss the fact that I wish I could be in Cameroon. I like to, once I get out of work, On my WhatsApps, I like to speak my pidgin. I will type pidgin, we will talk in pidgin. So when I get, I will not tell me this grammar palava. I will talk about pidgin, broke the thing, you know the, you know what I'm talking about.
I mean, I think we're saying all this to say what? We're saying all this to say what?
Yes. So that's why I love Fisherman's Diary so much. It was like, holy, that took me back home. It was like I was like millions of miles away and I'm back home. It felt so good. I was able to connect and it just reminded us of where we came from. And I don't want to lose that. I don't want to lose that. I want to be reminded. I want to be one of my greatest desires is able to go back to Cameroon and go to the market, support market, and see those women selling there. And
Supermarket has changed. For those of us from Boya, supermarket has changed so much.
yeah, it has changed. I want to go to Boyata and say, hey, mommy, buy. You know what we used to, and forget all this. This is a completely different life. We have to do what we have to do to survive.
Mm-hmm.
And you know what?
Oh, see, Inda says, I tell our daughters we should have given them names which would be like GPS coordinates. So if someone calls your name, everyone knows who to expect even before you turn the corner. I'm telling you, Inda, that's what we should have done in hindsight.
I try to speak the dialect to my kids, like try to teach them how to say things. Sometimes when they say it in their accent, I will burst out laughing.
Mine is For real says, I'm so happy my husband and I insisted on giving our children traditional
So
names.
if we're going to keep our values,
Judy, you're frozen. Okay, you're back. You're frozen.
okay. Yeah, so like I was saying, it's a matter of our values. It doesn't just end with our clothes, our food. It's our moral values. Our moral values have been eroded so badly.
If you're advising us, not really advising us, but what would you say? Because like somebody said, we are between a rock and a hard place, really, because we have to pick and choose, right? But generally, for us not to lose our cultures, and which is what I refer to as our African-ness, what would you, and I'm asking anybody, let's all advise each other, right? How will we best deal with this? How do we protect our culture?
I would say never pass up an opportunity. If you have an opportunity to showcase your culture or to live your culture, never pass it up, because we don't really get a lot of opportunities here to do that, right? Mm-hmm. You go to work 7 hours a day, you're in a box, you're literally trying to survive in the box. Mm-hmm. Once you get out of that, if you have to cook African food to remind yourself of where you came from, mm-hmm. don't go trying to modify. I'm not saying people should not live their lives the way they want, but if you really want to, because one thing I found with African food, they are very calorie heavy. Yeah, foods are very heavy. Maybe that's why a lot of people don't want to eat that. But I found a balance. Once a week, twice a week, it's okay, works for me. Okay. But I don't like to make modifications. I am one who cooks ekwang. When I want to do ekwang.
Ekwang, not ekwang.
Yes, I said it like my kids say ekwang. That was unintentional. Mm-hmm. So when I want to do ekwang, I'm one who doesn't, I don't like the ekwang that's pre-grated and wrapped up and frozen. I don't like that. I cook ekwang from scratch. I go to the kitchen, I buy my red cocoyams, and specifically red cocoyams. I peel it, I grate it. I have a traditional grater from Cameroon. I grate it, I buy cocoyam leaves. I do it from scratch. Same thing with achu. With achu, I have my mortar from Cameroon. I don't do the flour mix for achu. I pound.
Okay. So you do well. Kochu Cafe, you do well.
Yeah, no, that's my African-ness. If I'm going to do it, I like
that. So don't miss an opportunity to
Yeah, don't. And if you're doing it, do it. Go all out. Otherwise, I wouldn't bother, because once you try to change it, you're diluting it.
Okay, so let me bring Inga. Hi, Inga. Don't miss an opportunity to
Yeah, don't. And if you're doing it, do it. Go all out. Otherwise,
we can hear ourselves.
Once you try to change it, you're diluting it.
Oh, no, not mute yourself. Mute the other.
Yeah, no, and if you're doing it, do it. Go all out.
We can hear ourselves. Oh,
I have to.
No, so Inda, you have me on probably on 2 gadgets, so you have to mute the other gadget. Yeah, unmute yourself now. So unmute yourself on this one.
Yeah. Is that better?
Yeah. Unmute yourself now. Right. I hate to hear my voice. So, do you have me on two gadgets?
I did, but I don't think I do anymore.
Wait, I still do. You
You know what? Maybe it could be echoing as well. Let me just mute myself.
No, it's from Inda. It's from Inda. So, do you have me on two gadgets?
I shouldn't do.
I did, but I don't think I do anymore.
Wait, I still do.
You know what? Maybe it could be echoing as well. Let
So
me just mute
find which gadgets and then log back in. But you have me on two.
Let me rejoin.
Yeah. Sorry, guys. Let you know.
I know. I love your discussions. I love this. I love what you're trying to do, trying to engage us. It's a very good thing. And this is also one of the things that we are losing because of the lifestyle in the West. We grew up with a socially active community. We are losing all that. We don't even talk to each other anymore.
We don't. And me, I'm a texter. I text everybody. I don't make calls. Like every conversation I have is a text message. So, but I think like this is learning through our shared experience again, and then hopefully sometimes reminding ourselves of our, of our not just values, of
our roots, where we came from.
Our roots, our roots. And I think this is what we do here on the show. So, but I think I like this format of making it interactive because it's been very guest driven. But I like to hear different people's thoughts about.
Yeah, I like that too. Like, I like to talk to people. I like to know how people feel about different things. And I think a lot of issues we have in society is the fact that we're no longer talking to people. Everyone is sitting in a box, making assumptions about what someone might be thinking or feeling without actually talking to them. And communication, talking to people really resolves a lot of issues.
It does. I'm going to try to bring Inda again.
Yeah.
Inda, you've muted, unmute, and let's see if it's any better.
Without actually talking to them. Maybe I should leave.
It does. I'm going to try to bring Inda again.
Yeah.
Okay. I have no idea. So, what are we talking on your phone? Oh, that's a shame. Inda, I don't know if anyone can help you.
Okay, maybe I should leave. Maybe if I
no, it's not you. It's not you. So before Inda comes, I wanted us to talk quickly, and it ties in. She'll come back. I will go back to it. But before everybody goes, I really want. We didn't talk about it. This thing that Denzia is taking Black China to Cameroon. Do you know Black China?
I only heard about her. I'm not familiar with her music. I think she's a singer, right?
I don't know. I think she's a singer, but I don't think I've ever heard her music. But I know that she's kind of like a socialite, right? So, and I'm thinking, so she's not. It's not necessarily to perform. She's not going to Cameroon to perform. So I'm just trying to, and I need to apologize because I didn't reach out to Denzia to ask why. But I think someone told me that I think it's just. Basically, she's not going there to like perform, but she's just going there to get to know Cameroon. Maybe they have some business deals. I don't know. But then there's actually a meet and greet, right? So, and I'm thinking, and it ties into me with what you're saying, that we all, the ones in Cameroon, they rap, they want to be like those of us in Bush. And does anybody know Black China in the comments? If you know Black China, not Denzia. We know Denzia. Denzia is a Cameroonian girl, entrepreneur, successful at what she does. She has a skincare line and she's a musician. She's brilliant. And she's one of those entrepreneurs that has made the racks to riches story. I really love her drive. I love her. She has her product. I'm just going to plug it. She has a skin whitening line. The reason why it's our business in her leisure trip is that there's kind of like a meet and greet, and then there are tickets that you have to pay. So if you have to meet them, it's like 700,000. A fee. But I'm thinking that the reason that it caught my attention last time, I was thinking from which angle it's like taking a Kim Kardashian. Well, Kim at least is a billionaire, right? But think about these socialites in America that we've all known through television. So it's like taking them to Cameroon. I think for me, I'm asking to the Cameroonian public, to the Cameroonian young person who is watching, what's the value in meeting somebody like that, who is not known, who is known literally for skin modifications and being a TV star. What's the value to the Cameroonian youth who's watching? Inda is here. Let's try one last time before we talk about that. Unmute.
Hey,
That
hey
sounds
guys.
good.
That's better finally, I think.
Okay, go on.
Hi,
So,
Judith. Hi, Anu.
hi, Inda. Thank you. Sorry about that. I want to let's go back because we started talking about Densey and Black China, but let's go back and tell me a bit more about your talk on ITV, about what did Vera say? What was your talk about?
Yes, so I think it was when Sandy Newton
Oh
went
yeah,
back to
went back.
her given name,
Yeah.
Kandiwe, which is quite a pretty name. So they were looking for other people who were doing the same. And even if you had a situation where you had formally or informally, changed your name around, and if you had gone back to it. So my name, as it appears on the stream there, with two consonants. It could be a boy's name. I think in Bangwa you have it. Anunda is a boy's name in Bangwa, isn't it? I think as well. So and there was a footballer somewhere in England here who is called Nda something, and he always sounded like a boy's name. So Vali, who I've been with forever, started saying Inda, 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 and I sort of adapted to that thing. At the point on Facebook, it was NDAH in brackets INDA, for the convenience of other people. And I had a conversation with my dad, and I said, "Did you really mean to do this? Was this your intention?" And he said to me, "Yes." And he was a bit offended, I think, actually, that I thought that he didn't think about what he was doing, because none of us have any Western names. So I just thought, no, sod it. He's done this for a reason. I'm going to go back to my name. Why am I shying away from this? So that was the context in which ITV Online shared this article. But I was particularly interested in this topic today because we were having the same conversation. I think we're losing the plot. We really are. And different people, different places, different cultures, our children don't respond, I think, in certain ways to the Western ways that we try to bring them up in. They just don't get it. It's different. It's with discipline. It's with with the way we try to educate them on our values. And if we're not careful, we in a way make them feel that this other way is better.
This Western way, or our way?
The Western way is better without even knowing it.
Okay.
Because, like you say, Judith, we have to adapt to certain things, but we code switch so much that in trying to adapt, in trying to make our children fit in, we then lose it,
Right.
And I really, I mean, our older daughter is a teenager, and they can be challenging. And I'm thinking, is there something here that we did when she was growing up that really didn't ground her in what she should have been grounded in? And that's my challenge. There's a lot of issues around that, but I just worry. I worry about where we're going. I worry about the names. Nigerian people, they give their children, however long that name is, they give it. You take it, and you take it anywhere. You might try and switch it, but it be some form of Ade or Buki or something, so everybody will know where you're from. And that in itself is an introduction.
Yep.
You need not say anymore. So who is Kirsten? It's a beautiful name. I love it. It has a meaning. But I would rather Kirsten now be known as Ngelo. That means something. You can take that name and find Quen. But where do you can go to Sweden with Kirsten, but she doesn't come from there. So there's just a lot of angles to it. And I'm particularly challenged by it around this time when children get challenging, that we ought to really, because yes, maybe in our African ways, we need to refine them and tweak them a bit. But we were also teenagers once.
Yeah.
And these teenagers here, I don't recognize them. I don't know who these people are. you know.
Well, surprise. Well, in my situation, I have teenagers, but I found that what I've been trying to do has been working. Like I haven't had challenges with the teenagers. They go to school, they come home. When I make the African food, the Ero, everyone eats their fingers. Everyone is in. Achu, they love it with their fingers. My youngest will not eat achu with a spoon. She will,
Now,
yeah, she will cry.
now
So
that is where you got it right from the get go.
yeah, so you have to introduce it early, and you
Yeah.
have to be able to achieve like you say, it's up to the parent the way you sell your culture to your children. If you try
Yeah.
to make it look like the Western culture is better, of course that's what they're going to get. That's what they're going to absorb. And at some point, when you try to retract, you're going to get resistance. So from a very early age, what I noticed when I just moved here with them, when you went to other people's homes, they wouldn't cook achu for the kids to eat. If they cook achu, the kid will be eating pizza.
Mm.
Oh yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
if they made a if they made a arrow, they're gonna order chicken for the kids, and that's where they start to lose it.
Mm.
And I relate with that. When my daughter is the one who has really proven a bit challenging to me. The boys have been easy, but my daughter, I realized that because I always used to tell them like, if this was Cameroon, the way I would slap you, or if this was Cameroon, the way I would crap. Like I always used Cameroon as a form of discipline, right? And I'm like, you cannot say that to one to and I always use Cameroon in that way. And I overheard them telling her brothers that she doesn't really want to go to Cameroon because it seems as if in Cameroon all they do is beat children. And
Yeah,
always, oh no, I have. So I've painted the completely wrong picture unconsciously of
yeah,
Cameroon to her. So I started, and we immediately switched. You know, she's not been to Cameroon, but she's looking forward to go to Cameroon. And I was like, oh, in Cameroon, when you make wake up, oh, the weather in Boya is so lovely. Oh, like all the food, like when you pass, everybody greet. Like I try to paint not idyllic, but
a realistic
a
picture.
realistic picture of Cameroon to
Yeah,
her, you know. And so now she, and I always refer to them like this Takwai Peking, you know, this Takwai, this is what you do in Takwai, this is what you do in Fontaine. Like I in so many little ways I just include my culture, my
yeah,
Cameroon in their lives. And so they know that they are, like my son knows that he's a boy from Takwai. Like he's not just a Bayangi boy, but he's a boy from Takwai. You know what I mean? Like things like
yeah.
that.
You
Yeah.
start to, and when you start to sell it to them, by the time they are grown, they know exactly where they came from, and they're no longer ashamed.
Yeah.
I tell my kids, I recount to them stories of growing up in Cameroon. Like, oh my God, you guys are just locked up here. In Cameroon, growing up was fun. We had trees. We would climb trees. We would run around the neighborhood to visit our friends. You guys are just being locked up here. I just feel sorry for you. But you guys know what? I'm going to take you to Cameroon next year, and you're going to
But
have the time of your lives.
India, now that you have these challenges with Kirsten, do you feel like, or anyone else who's watching, Julie, is it too late? Is there any way to kind of pull her back to embrace the culture?
I don't feel that. I tell you where. Let me take it back a little bit. Is that the resistance? Sometimes we do these things without even realizing. It's convenience, isn't it? You've
Mm-hmm.
gone to work 9 to 5. You come in and you have to start making arrow, making pepper soup, or let me just make something quickly. Let the kids eat, and that's how it starts. That's how it continues. You don't even mean to do that because there's
Mm-hmm.
African food everywhere. They
Mm-hmm.
know you're eating it. You know they see you eating it, but you're not training their palates, and you think seeing you eating it is doing the job,
It's
but they're
exactly.
not. You understand? So it's not
Yeah.
even being done consciously or saying that this is a better way. It's just for convenience, but then it becomes their way,
Yeah.
and that's where the struggle is.
Yeah.
But then you also have to realize that naturally teenagers will maybe push boundaries.
Mm.
There'll be ways, and because they're enlightened, because we've always
Oh,
brought them
yeah.
up to be kind of mini adults, right?
Yeah.
There'll be conversations. They'll have
Yeah.
some. They'll share logic that you'll find difficult to refute.
That's that logic. Logic. They're so smart.
They're so smart.
Yeah.
So you have to give room, because as a black child, unfortunately, I believe that there are few things more dangerous than a well-spoken or well-read Black person. So you need to be able to encourage that as well. But you need to, my African-ness wants to think, I need to curtail you a little bit, you know? But then where is the balance? Where is the balance that you find between wanting this child to toe the line of respect as an African, but also be able to hold and conduct themselves in a way that's going to open doors for them
in
this
society. Yeah.
Yeah.
I get
And
it.
that is the balance that you need to strike. But you take
My,
Monday.
my opinion with respect to that is like the African interpretation of respect is completely different from what I think respect is.
Yes.
I think the way we've been brought up to think is that respect means shutting up in the face of an adult talking. Doesn't matter if you're right or wrong. You're not supposed to be heard, and which is wrong, in my opinion. What I tried to institute with my kids was communication discussion. I let them have their say. Like we sit down, we talk about stuff. You say what you have to say. I hear you out. But even if I don't agree with you, I counter by showing you why I think you might be wrong. And I think that's where the African culture, our culture isn't 100% perfect. There's things in our cultures that we have to be able to improve upon.
So with that, Judith, for me, there's a fine line with that, because in my situation, I have a kid who pushes me, like really pushes me, and where I find that I tend to be like, when I say it, do it. Don't tell me what you think or don't think. Just do it.
Because they know it all.
Yes, I have a kid like that, and he really challenges me, that child. But Sean Martin, our second child, like, there is nothing we say he would argue from start to finish. It's logical, but I don't want to hear it sometimes. I want him to know that it's not everything I say that he needs to respond. Do you guys have that kind of child? Like, sometimes when mommy says it, just do it. I don't want to hear, but I thought this. No, just do it. So for me, it's a fine line. And I think when it comes to that respect, there is a global respect. Respect, I tell them, in Africa, respect is given. In Cameroon, when you see any Black person, I don't want, it's auntie, it's uncle. There's no, if they are talking, you listen. Have an opinion after the fact, but listen. However, if you want to challenge, earn my respect is earned by virtue of my age. Doesn't mean I won't listen to you, but give me my respect by virtue of my age. Yeah, that's it. Yeah, because Sean drives me mad sometimes, but that's, I think for me, but what I've learned with each child, because their personalities are different, I kind of tweak it to each child's personality. But the overarching one is that respect in an African culture is given, it's not earned. You give it first, and then if the person messes up, you can take it back, but you give it.
And I get you, and I think that's where we have to manage our triggers, because we also have to give allowances for the fact that they're at an age where they're exploring boundaries, they're exploring how far they can go. And them talking back or having opinions is like, I am your mother, I'm older, I'm this.
And they're like, yes, my personality.
But we have to manage how we get triggered to that. But also to say to them, because there's a way, isn't it, that you can disagree as a child. And I say, speak your truth politely, speak your truth respectfully. Have your say, but speak it politely and speak it respectfully.
And that's what I was trying to get at. Like, for a child, that listening to a child is different from having a child have their say is different from having a child talk back.
No, yes, you're right. Having a child have their say is different. But then Judith, before you continue, having a child have their say, that's why I said there's a thin line.
Yeah, it's when I talk about having their say, it just, to me, the way I see it, how it all depends on how you started when this child was smaller, when this child was younger. If you're asking them to do something and they don't agree,
Mm-hmm.
Can you tell me why you don't agree? It's different from telling her to do this and then she's talking back. That's being rude. And I'm going to stomp you down if you do that. But you have a right to say, hey, I think there might be a better way to do this, Mom. Or don't you think? Then we can talk about it.
Mm.
But the talk back, oh, I'm going to come for you. You don't talk back. If you think you have a different opinion, let's have a talk about it. Let's sit down and talk about it in a respectful manner.
Okay, I hear you, but I get what you guys are saying.
Yeah.
I get what you guys are saying. So Inda, with your experience of Caitlin, well, she's the teenager now, right? What have you learned? What have you learned? Because there's always a lesson in what they do, right?
There is. Oh, there is. I think first and foremost, she has to understand. I mean, it's a bit of a bane for her sometimes, but you are a beacon for your younger sisters. There's people behind you that are going to follow probably in exactly the same light. So I'm not having you, stay too far out of the line. You're a teenager, you make mistakes, and we learn, we grow. But we will need you to work with us because that's how your younger sisters learn. There's that. But there's also
what has she said? Has she never said anything about that? Because my oldest was telling me.
Oh yeah, so she blows her top, but sod it. That's how life is.
Like this is too much responsibility. I remember when I was saying, "What if I have another child?" He was like, "No,
The oldest one said that. I mentioned that to my oldest. I'm like, you guys are all grown up. I don't get to see you guys anymore. You come home, you go into your rooms. I think I need another baby. She was like, no, 3 kids is enough.
It's like, no, I
can't. Like, added responsibility. They don't want that added responsibility because they know that they carry the weight of being the role model for the younger people.
Yes. And it's a weight, isn't it? It's quite a weight. I do feel for her because depending on their personality, she's a bit quieter. She's a bit of the one that will sulk. So you don't know what they're thinking as well. So you have to really bear that in mind. But this is the thing, that they have such an influence, they don't realize it. I'll tell you a little story. So Kirsten has braids now. She decided to cut the front ones, cut the two, and do whatever style she wanted to do. That's fine. You're a teenager, you can do that. But the little one, what did she do? She took a pair of scissors and cut her two from braids from the root.
Yes.
And when I looked at it and noticed it, I said, like, Kirsten, come downstairs. I said, look at that. What has she done? She's cut her two front braids from the root. I said, now that is the power of your influence. I'm just not going to, you just need, and then she said to me the next day, Mom, but it's so annoying. You don't know how much, of a responsibility it is. I can't just live my life. I said, I'm so sorry. You're first in line, and that's how life is.
That's what I tell mine.
Yeah, you have to deal with it. So going back to what I've learned, there's that, which is very important for me. But there's also the fact that she's got her own personality and her own way in which we have to deal with her, or communicate with her, or bring her up. But also, girls like to talk. I find if we talk, and she's a writer, so she gets words. So I will play on that fact that she gets words, and really drive home some issues. Yeah. So it's about knowing the person, knowing what is their language, what is their love language, what is the language you need to use when you want to discipline them.
The same way I was able to influence Layla with her African wear. You have to find what is their language and play with that. I like that. Before you girls go, let's quickly talk about this girl. I was asking this question. I really want everyone's opinion because Dencia, who is our entrepreneur, I spoke earlier about her business, is taking this Black China to Cameroon. And Inda, do you know about Black China?
Not in the slightest. No.
I know that's way out of our generation.
I'm not.
You are old.
I'm a bit behind, I think.
You're old. But anyway, so Black China used to be a rapper apparently, but she's old. Really, all what she is now is just like a socialite. Just making appearances. She had a baby with one of the Kardashians, the boy Rob Kardashian or something. Yeah. Wow. she had a baby with him. I think that was really her claim to fame. But then Denzil's taking her to Cameroon. Like, and I'm just trying to think for somebody like that. I'm trying to think of who we have that can relate. Who is a socialite of our time that really didn't have do anything but was just a socialite like that? Can you think of anyone like any like from Cameroon, Africa, the West? Anybody that Katie Price was even a businesswoman. Like who can I term? So think of Kim Kardashian when we thought that she wasn't doing any business behind the scenes and all her claim to fame was through her back, right? Through the video. So think about that. So like for those who are watching and who know these people, what value, if you don't, would taking that kind of celebrity, what impact, what's the message that to take that kind of celebrity in quotes with no platform, no, in my opinion, no positive platform, because we know is that she promotes like bleaching creams as well. That's really what she does. And then she's like all this body, what they call her, body, she's done a lot of body surgery. I need to find a better picture of her. So that's really what she is known for. So what benefit is that kind of influencer to the young Cameroonian youth, to the Cameroonian youth? What Cameroonian youth? That's an oxymoron.
That question reminds me of a post I saw on Facebook this week that said the Kardashian show was celebrating its 14th anniversary or something, and this post said Kardashian show is for celebrating 14th anniversary, but I'm just happy I never got to watch even one. And I was like, me too. When it comes down to like the Kardashian show, what was the value? There was no value added.
Exactly.
So there's no value added. People can argue from today to tomorrow, or people should live their lives, but we have to be the masters of our own destinies. We can't keep saying that, or people should live a life, and then tomorrow we're complaining about a country that's going sideways or a world that's going sideways. What is the value of this? What platform? What is she going to be leveraging income? What can the youth positively learn from this person? And to me, switch. It's nothing. There's nothing. Tell me about an artist, someone who can sing. Tell me about a business person who can influence positively. Tell me about a female entrepreneur that can motivate and inspire the next generation of women to create businesses and become world leaders. But if you're telling me about someone who has no positive platform, but just being a socialite, and talking about skin bleaching, which is one of the things that we're trying to fight today. So, unfortunately, again, we as parents are responsible for the people that our kids tomorrow might want to follow. And we can't stop her from coming to Cameroon, for sure. We can't stop people from going to see her. But it's your responsibility as a parent to be able to impart the right values in your daughter or your kids to say, hey, you know what? The world's going to be full of a lot of garbage, but this is what I can tell you will be the right thing to do. These are the values that I can inspire in you. So I think that about.
So, but what? Oh, sorry, Inda, go on.
No, there must be a market. There must be.
That's what I was going to say.
She wouldn't be doing it if it wasn't.
Exactly. That's what I was going to say. That she wouldn't be bringing her if there wasn't no market. And what does that say about where the Cameroonian youth is at?
But that says exactly where we're at.
It tells us where we are heading.
Yeah.
Oh, we're already there anyway. So it's just, if you look at the current scene with all the influencers we have from the Natalie Quas and the other girls, it's just the same path. Social media is rejecting.
That was Black China in 2010, and that's how she looked in 2017. She's completely transformed, really.
Oh, she's actually a black person. I thought she was a white person.
No, she was a black girl that really that's all she does. She promotes, and she's done surgery, obviously, boob, butt, like proper surgery, right? So like I'm thinking, I was just asking myself, okay, Denzil, I understand. Denzil is a successful businesswoman. She is, I've said that already. She's really done so well for herself. She's a wonderful entrepreneur. It would be worth taking. Denzil going to Cameroon it's a big deal. But like her choice, the person she's taking, the choice is what I don't understand. Does anybody know better about this? Like people going to see what value would Black China add to the Cameroonian youth in this poverty? A ticket to see them is 700,000 francs CFA.
What? To see them do what?
I don't know. I think it's like a meet and greet and party with them is 700,000. So I'm thinking maybe then it's not for the Cameroonian youth, right? Maybe it's for.
Yeah, you know what? I'll be interested to know the end of that story. Please keep posting.
I will. Okay, I will.
I'd like
And
to
if
see.
anybody has better info, please come and share.
Yeah, like,
But
you see,
yeah,
in
go on.
Cameroon, we can do inaugural ceremonies for traffic lights.
oh yeah,
Who's to say whether we have any sense? We may have money better than sense, but there you go.
Yeah. Anyways, yeah, that's true. What you're saying. I mean, like, if we're already at that level, then I think
we do
this
anything
lady,
really. I don't think you're thinking it too. You're thinking. I think you're giving us too much credit.
too much credit.
I mean,
Too much credit. They're not that far along yet. Yeah,
that's a bit scary though. Like because if you guys have really just opened my eyes to it, if she's going there, there's a market.
there is a market. It's
There's
happening in Africa. It really is happening in Africa.
And as a smart businesswoman, she's leveraging her to make her money. So
absolutely,
yes. Densia is smart. Densia is a real businesswoman. Yes.
I mean, if you can get people,
Cameroonian. Sorry.
Yes, Densia is Cameroonian.
Well, it's fine. I mean, I'm sorry to say, but at least she's not
That's
Nigerian.
Densia with the black hair. Yeah.
So she's Cameroonian. She's still the economy is going to work in some way, shape, or form. Imagine if it was another nationality bringing somebody to Cameroon and taking that money out of Cameroon, how would you feel? So I mean,
but I don't think. Well, anyway, the people she's going to be coming with are going to spend money in Cameroon. So, well, like you say, that's good for the economy. But besides that, I don't see anything. I don't see anything positive.
I thought about it. I've really thought about it. I'm like, how does this? From every angle, like, okay, maybe from them making their money, it's fine. But like, what value does it give us? And when the media says it's going to bring eyes to Cameroon business, music, and entertainment in general.
How? If I may ask, can you expand shit on that? How is it going to bring eyes?
Says Black China, it has a name, and she's bringing her to Cameroon.
Yeah, so I mean, like, I'm sorry, but she's not an entertainer.
It's interesting.
But somebody, some who was it who went to Nigeria? Was it last year? It wasn't Naomi Campbell. There was a musician who went to Nigeria last year, and that took I can see what they're saying. Not that I know who Black China is or what she does or how famous she is, but you never know who is connected to whom. So it may be that you never know what value that person who went to Nigeria brought to that scene. But there's that scene, and then there's a scene we're talking about, which is what value in terms of education, in terms of. So let somebody else who's in that space
come talk to us about
it. Yeah, that's why I would very much like to know how how the whole thing goes and who's going to be there.
Yeah.
Speaking of artists going to Nigeria, the one you're talking about, I know that Cynthia Bailey, one of the housewives of Atlanta, was in Ghana.
Oh, right.
I think that was last year. And I mean, like, that was really good for the Ghanaian.
But she's not the only one, because Ghana has been doing this come back home motherland.
Exactly.
But with high profile people like Cynthia Bailey, who has a very positive platform, by the way.
Yeah.
I can see.
She always goes, doesn't she?
Yeah. So I can see the value. But well,
I mean, if I heard that, I mean, talking about socialites coming to Cameroon, right? What's her name? Penda. What's her name? The girl, the actress, Henson, P. Henson, the actress in Hollywood. Her name, Taraji, right? So she's Douala, right? The P stands for Penda. She's traced her route to Douala.
Really?
Yes. So that kind of person who is there is value. So she is Douala on her mother's side. The P is her mother's name has been passed Penda, right? But I'm saying that Taraji holds value, right? If that kind of woman is coming to Cameroon, do you guys get what I mean? Like,
no, I mean, like, that's gonna be a boost for the acting industry, like the film industry. I can see what
the film industry. She has different platforms. She talks about mental health. She has like a diverse range of platforms that she can be impactful to the people.
Yeah.
To the youth, to the young.
She already has a huge platform. Yeah.
like
But
you
let's
said.
not forget that there's different aspects to every economy. So
True.
it doesn't necessarily need to be something that's, well, what we consider to be, adding value in terms of educating people positively. But there must be a market for that. So if somebody
There's
is
definitely a
able to
market at 700,000.
But
There's
as a people, but as a people, we should be looking out for stuff that is going to benefit us, either
no, we
economically.
should be, but it doesn't mean that those people don't exist or do well in the West. They have their market. So
Yeah, I'm not saying no, but if we are going to be, look at where we are as a continent. We're lagging behind. So if we're going to make strides, we have to be careful what we are letting in. Like, we have to look out for people that can actually, if it's an economic value, that's great. If it's just positively inspiring the youth, that's also good. But
no, but I get in this
but
point.
find
I get
somebody
in this
who
point.
is that way inclined. So there could be somebody who's, I don't know, a motivational speaker in Cameroon, somebody who's about self-development. Bring the Tony Robinses of the world, or
Right. I get your
and
point.
then let Denzia do what she's doing. She
I
has
get
that
your point.
opportunity
Yeah.
to let somebody else do, because whatever way, it all goes round and it comes around. So it's a lot of money, 700,000. She's not really going to do much except cause a stir for nothing. But if it was being balanced the other way, then there'd be something to be said for it, because each to their own, isn't it?
And I think what I'll take from this, like you said, there are different aspects of the economy. So she's going to fulfill and enrich that part that she has to fulfill and enrich. And I'll leave it at that. But thank you guys so much. It's been 2 hours. I need to sleep. You need to sleep.
Thank you, guys.
It's been great.
Thank you.
It's been so much fun. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Anu. Thank you. Thank you for holding a conversation that was really just so spot on for me. I think I was a bit impassioned about this today because I was having quite a day with this, thinking, maybe we've overstayed our welcome. If Cameroon was okay, we wouldn't be here, unfortunately.
Cameroon was okay, we wouldn't be here. That's
I know maybe it's time to take us to the studio. I mean, like, you're doing something great. Maybe it's time to step it up. Ever thought of that? Like, just having a talk like this.
How do I get you into the studio?
I mean, you take this to the studio. It's time we had this conversation on bigger platforms. Like, we need to start talking about these things, because
I don't know.
Yeah,
I don't know if I'm there yet, to be honest with you. I have a lot happening in my personal life.
You keep saying that. No, you keep saying
no, honestly, I'm telling you.
You're just trying to put off the inevitable. You know what?
No.
You're never gonna be ready.
That's it. Yeah, you can start. You can feel.
You already have a platform where you can get people to talk. Like, that's just what you need. Stop thinking about you're making it too complicated. The complexity is the enemy of the Christian.
Because it's already happening, isn't it?
It's already happening.
I think I think I'm not scared. I just have so much happening in my personal life. Once that road clear, but it's just Judy, trust me, I have a lot.
I know. I sense you. You know, we all have a lot going on in our personal life.
Don't we all?
We all have a lot going on. And here we are. Here we are. We have a lot going on, but we're sitting here.
You guys know what? I'm going to throw it to you guys. Find the recommend me, or find the stations that you like would like to see me on, and then let's take it to that. Because I'm going to a studio, it's going to a TV channel. So find the TV channels. Use your connects. Let's connect.
I know the other thing that all of these episodes you've done, have you repurposing them as a podcast?
Yeah.
You are doing that.
Yeah, I have all the audio. I'm planning to release it as a podcast. So that's
that's fantastic. That will be low maintenance, but a way of getting your word out.
Yeah, I mean, like, that's already something, right? You got to learn to walk before you can sprint, but you got to start, because I find that we all have a lot to share, especially us in the diaspora, with everything that we've learned. And I think we all have something to talk about, and everyone is just bursting in their corner with so much they want to share. But so there's never been a better time. That is done.
Very well done. Very well done.
Oh, bless. Thank you guys so much. But then yeah, I mean, I'm thinking about it. Judy, we've talked about it, you know that, but let me clear my plate. Thank you, I appreciate it. I really do appreciate, and I thank you guys for watching. You know, it goes a long way, your support, because there are so many days where I'm just like, I can't do this today, man. I'm too knackered. But I'm like,
Tony Robbins is my favorite life coach, motivational speaker. When you think something like when I attended, he had a free event in January. That was like an eye opener for me. It was like the scales fell off my eyes. When you have the opportunity to do a session with him, like an event, you start to look at yourself differently. You see a lot of things that you didn't see before. You see a lot of potential, things that you could. And we just keep saying, oh, maybe the time isn't right. I'm not. You are ready. You just can't believe. Here we are. I'm at work. I'm not supposed to be talking here, but I am here at work.
Yeah.
Okay,
And for so long. It doesn't matter. You can fail publicly. Who cares? Get up again and do it.
I did it. I know what you're saying. I just finished the 5-day one 2 weeks ago with Tony Robbins, and those. Did you unleash your power? Did any of you attend it?
Unleash the power within.
It was on YouTube and Facebook. It was free. It was 5 days. But again, what I'm saying is I'm thinking about all these things, but I'm so practical in how I do my things. Do you understand? Like, I don't just leap. I'm like,
and that's the thing that used to hold me back. Like I tend to overthink.
This is not overthinking. Trust me, this is not overthinking. Like, I have the podcast. I just need to release that podcast and then have this show along. So like I'm planning. Not I will fail public. I have no problem failing publicly. You know,
you're working on it.
Only like 20 people watch the show. I'm happy with that because to me that's failing. But no, to me that's failing. I have my, I have my goals. I shouldn't be talking about this to the whole world.
Why not?
I have my, so I have my milestones and my goals, and I have things that I've set. And first of all, only just doing this show has been a lifesaver to me personally, because where I was last year, March, so 2020 March, I was in the darkest place that I have been. Like, I was in a really dark space. I had to travel quietly abroad and just clear my mind by myself, without my family, nobody, just alone. I traveled abroad and I just cleared my mind, and I came back. And one of the first things I did was this show. Immediately went on lockdown. I was like, I'm not putting my life on hold anymore. I'm going to do this show. And this show has literally been the lifeline to, so 2020 was my best year. I don't know about other people, but 2020 was the best. This lockdown was the best thing that ever happened to me on a personal level in every way. So I understand seizing the moment.
Yeah.
But now that I'm here, in that it's like echo. You understand? you're building, but you're making mistakes, you're failing, but you now structure it and you have a business plan in mind, right? That's the kind of thing. So I don't so I hear you.
every time you post a link, and I'm like, this anyway, I know she doesn't see the potential that I'm saying what she's doing. Why is she taking this way joke? You know, I'm like, I people shake the, and you're beginning to see this, getting the see way to me. Like, I see so much potential in what you do, and I keep feeling that.
Thank you. That means a lot.
Someone needs to shake you and wake you up for you to realize that.
No, but I hear you.
You have to quickly use this wind that's passing. It's not going to be
here forever.
It's not going to be here forever. It's very cool to be black now. Don't let our season be over before you seize the opportunity. It's good to wait, but you have to seize it.
Especially now with COVID ending and things reopening, this is a time to capture an audience.
Exactly. This is the best time to be a woman and an ethnic minority.
So, rendezvous by the hunch, my dear.
I am gonna.
And as your fans, I think it's good for them to hear what your vulnerabilities are, what the plans are, because people turn up. They're busy people.
Oh yeah. I'm so appreciative. Yeah.
But they want to know where this is going. They're part of this journey. They're investing, their time, their intellect, their contributions. So they want to see. So, when you say you shouldn't be telling us this, you should be doing precisely that.
Maybe
Because people
privately.
want to see where this is going. It doesn't mean that it has all of it has to be in the open. But okay, I'm just planning on doing this. Want to be part of that journey. So if I don't watch
I'm really planning on like packaging it and and presenting it to some, because the biggest platform I can take it to is actually a terrestrial TV station. It's not just YouTube. You understand? Okay, so YouTube is fine, but like where, especially with my kind of conversation, is really geared around Cameroon. So I really want the Cameroonian to know that this kind of platform exists and learn what they can learn from it. But yeah, we're really, because my husband and I were really seriously thinking of packaging this and seeking like the terrestrial channel where we can air from. So God help us.
God help us.
God help us. Thank you, girls.
For Africans and Caribbeans, not just us Cameroonians, I think we've had.
When you talk Cameroonians, I feel that I just feel like
I'm limiting myself. Everyone says
the market is the Cameroon market is too small.
I think that's okay. You see, that's it for me. I need to get out of this mindset of doing it for Cameroon. It's the hardest thing for me to do. I was approached by this African-American channel on YouTube who told me, create content for us. I love what you do. Create content for us. But my brain will not think that direction. Anyway,
we talked about this last year. Remember? And I told you, I can shake you. Like, Andrew, what are you doing?
Now. I'll call
you. How much
Thank you, guys.
Non-Africans are waiting to hear our stories, especially us living in a diaspora. They want to know our realities. We're not talking about it. Someone needs to bring these stories out. They want, so it's like, this is Makaka choose on this.
I don't hear. I will call you Milk catch me shake. I hear you, but thank you guys so much. This was good. I can't believe people are still watching us have this conversation.
All right,
you're the true fans. You're the true fans.
It's unembellished.
Yeah, thank you so much. Yeah. Thank you. And honestly, I think this is the push or the reminder that I needed to really crack on with it. So
no, you need to, and
I will.
Don't embarrass yourself again by saying you have to get out of this Cameroonian mindset. It should not be a thing, let alone a thing that you say. You should have moved on from that thing.
I'm stuck there. I think anyone get a weakness, I'm stuck there because I see this kind of shows happening for the rest of the world and it's not happening for us. Do you understand?
It's fine. We will come along. It's no problem. We will come
but
along.
We need people to take it out there, and you're one of those people. So why don't you break that glass ceiling?
You're right. You're right. I need to get that mentality. If my husband is watching this, when I'll come, he'll probably pull my ear now. I say, I'm telling you about this. But yeah, I get it. I'm
happy that Inda shares the same opinion, because sometimes I wanted to call you, but I feel like, okay, I don't like to intrude on people's personal business, but I just feel like, I know you're losing. You have to make that move. You have to make the move.
Okay, I've heard.
Mark, well, this has been so much fun. Thank you, ladies, so much.
Thank you. And also, let me actually throw it there while I have you guys, because moving to the next level takes it doesn't just take grit and intention, it takes money. So if you're an investor and you think you know how to make money, you want to make money off something like this, come on board. Let's grow.
We talked about this. We said you should present it to your fans. I'm like, this is where we are. I need
investors. So this is me presenting it to my fans, Judith.
You come up with the plan, the concept.
Present it to your fans, and you can do a crowdfunding campaign.
Yeah, I told you money should not be the inhibitor. You get a business plan, you sell it. Anyone who's investor wants to make money is going to come on board.
Mm-hmm.
I know, I'm coming to the UK.
And you're in Clubhouse. Sell it there.
Oh yeah, that's why I joined Clubhouse.
Mm-hmm.
And that's why I joined Club. Now you know why I joined Clubhouse. I joined Clubhouse because I wanted to understand how people have created this and see if I can take my stuff there. Yeah, that's why I joined it.
Get on stage and sell your story. You just get somebody from somewhere who will just do it.
Yeah. Thank you, girls. Thank you, Tessie.
Thank you. It was a beautiful conversation.
Thank you, girls. I appreciate it so much.
No, we enjoyed it. You enjoyed it. You added value to us. And you remember Tony Robbins always says about adding value to people's life. That's how you get ahead.
Yeah.
Yes. But this is what we've all done, right? Not just me, all the guests and all. We've really added value into each other's lives. So I think I'm really grateful for this. And thank you guys. You guys don't know, you've pulled me from a really dark hole to light. Like, I'm literally, when they say living your best life in every aspect, I am. So I'm really, truly grateful.
Okay.
My fans. So thank you guys so much.
We keep saying thank you and goodbye. No one is leaving. Okay, I'm leaving now. Bye.
Bye. Bye, Inda. Oh, so Inda said she call Inda now, not Inda, right? Inda. Thank you. Thank you, guys. I can't believe you're still here, but thank you for watching. It's been 2 hours and 15 minutes. You've been amazing. So yes, I'm throwing it out there, right? We're going to take this to the next level. Thank you guys so much for your support. I can't, honestly, you don't know what you've done for me, but just know that I owe it all. I owe so much to you all, and I'm grateful for that. So thank you. We should really take this show to the next level, and yes, we can do it. So I'm calling on all of you because I'm gonna need guests. I'm gonna need deeper conversations, and I'm gonna we really have to streamline this. So I hope, like Tessie said, you will follow me wherever I go. But you've been amazing. Thank you so much. Have a lovely evening. We're back next week at 8 p.m. and I'll see you there. Have a good night. God bless you. Bye-bye. Linda, you missed a lot. Just go back and watch it from the beginning. But thank you. Thank you guys so much. All right. Good night.